All right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode from us, Philosophy Culture. I'm here with my big bro, Costin, as always.
And
What's up?
I'm always here with my big bro Emils. What's up, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good as well.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about the father of advertising. Who is that, Costin?
That's David Ogilvy, and we have listened to approximately four episodes from the Founders podcast. So all of our points will be based on the Founders podcast, and we will basically discuss some ideas, beliefs from those episodes and related to today's society and our opinions and thoughts.
Exactly. So yeah, this is going to be my first lecture in advertising. So check it out.
Check it out.
David Ogilvy.
David Ogilvy today. Yeah. All right. So shall we just start with the points?
I think we should start with the important question first.
All right. Oh yeah. True. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, why do you think this discussion we are having today is important, bro?
I think it's important to get an insight into David Ogilvy's life because, well, he's known for being the father of advertising, right? So, yeah, it feels like we are always bombarded by different like ads, and advertising is basically part of our lives now, more or
Yeah,
less.
yeah,
So I think it's interesting to understand the foundations maybe um, of the whole industry, because it could be said to be like an industry.
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
How about you? Why do you think it's important?
Man, I just love these people. I just love these people who have done really extraordinary work, and it's really great to learn about their lessons, and especially David Ogilvy, because my kind of one of my beliefs is that truth isn't complicated, and
Mhm.
I think that David Ogilvy really embodies that statement.
Yeah. How?
Just by like the lessons. Also, so uh, people we're gonna like so we have listened to the founders podcast once again. That is where we have gotten, I would almost say, most of our info from. So the book, the perspective I am coming from is from the episode, the Confessions of, wait, Confessions of an Advertising Man is the book called, which David Senra is presenting in the podcast. And so yeah, but the ways that David Ogilvy embodies like this, you know, truth is simple quote that I just said is just, I don't know. For example, in this saying, if you pay peanuts, you will get monkeys. Like just a really clear um, communication,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I think you made a really good, like when you said really clear communication. I think we could like continue with our points because you made a very good transition, or you like that word uh could be a very good transition to our points, I think.
I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Should I just start with some like one of my points that I have?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, I something interesting that I got from the podcast was that regarding communication and be direct, is that it should be about the people and not the product. And I like we had a discussion earlier about the famous people, like why he didn't choose to include um actors and such in his ads, and that is because you don't remember the product, but you remember the the
The
act.
household name, the face.
Exactly. Yes. Uh, and yeah, he said just to make it about the people. And like he said that people are very like not egoistic, but they are very,
Yeah,
if
we
they don't get anything, it's kind of egoistic, but if they don't get anything out of it, they won't basically. I mean, they will just forget it.
yeah, they act in self-interest. That's yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
for sure.
Very self-interested. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is how I think that's the thing that this industry is good at doing, manipulating the what we perceive will benefit us.
Yeah.
Just how I don't know, cigarettes once in back then were advertised to for women because back in the day it was kind of taboo for women to smoke, and then it was advertised as this feministic thing to empower women not not let the social what's the word social kind of
Pressure.
ideals
Ideals.
let them yeah. So it was like this empowering thing to smoke out in the streets for women, and it was like put in the advertisements, and yeah. So and that acted like it's kind of build the foundation for women to, it was the kind of, how should I put this? It was like it was in their self-interest to become this empowered woman.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really fascinating.
Yeah. So there he basically used the strategy of convincing the woman that you should have more power and you should do kind of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want, and be more liberal. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Just to sell more products.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it's
However, I also think that another thing he really mentioned was to know about your product and do your research about the product. And he had this. He had actually like he was advertising for Rolls Royce, and before he started doing ads and everything in the newspapers and so on, he basically read uh, all kind of documents and information about the cars.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think his most famous sort of ad was that,
Was like the title, right? Or
yes, the
like
title,
title
yes,
was
yeah.
16 words. Uh,
The only thing the only thing you can hear in a Rolls Royce at 60 miles per hour is the clock.
yeah, exactly.
I think that's brilliant how he managed to find that sentence, or like how he managed to sort of relate that information to a very good and attractive
Vehicle, yeah.
title. Yeah,
Or okay, yeah,
yeah, like put them together is like super. That's genius.
for
Um,
sure.
and I also think he specified that the first thing you attract is with your title.
Yeah. That's the most important thing in advertising, at least according to him, what I heard.
Yeah. So I think that was just genius, pure genius.
For sure,
Um,
100%.
and I'm wondering actually how many people or agencies are actually doing that nowadays, because it feels like he also said that you should write like 600 to 700 words sort of text to your ad just to make or try to persuade the consumer to buy it. Uh, but I'm just wondering, I'm wondering how that would work in our days, because I think that in some situations you could basically write 600 to 700 words about something, Meanwhile, if you're trying to sell something very basic, it would just work, with just a simple and short text. So I don't know. Do you have any opinions about that?
That's interesting. I don't know. Well, I think one problem is our attention span.
Yes, yes, yes.
And also, I think I don't know. Maybe I'm out cycling somewhere.
No. Go ahead.
But I feel like most people aren't really selling really quality stuff. Like people, I think so many are selling stuff just to profit.
Mm.
It kind of goes back to this whole thing of doing your life's work, because the whole thing with David Ogilvy was excellence. He wanted to be is to run this the best advertising agency. It wasn't the goal wasn't to be the biggest with the most amount of clients. It was to be the best. So with these products, I think, how should I put this? Like, yeah, my dad is in the background.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
But yeah, I think shit. Now I lost my train of thought. But yeah,
Yeah, you were talking about a bad quality products ish.
yeah, and I think those kind of products don't need that kind of explanation, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe yeah.
I think it kind of worked differently back then compared to now, because nowadays, like, all the ads you see are mostly on your phone, on different like social media apps, or
Exactly.
on like, let's say, those sort of electric, what would you call them?
Yeah.
T-
What do you call them?
I have
Screens?
no, yeah, electric screens like on the road or
Mm.
put on a wall that just scroll.
Yeah, where they like kind of rotate the advertisement.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So an ad in a newspaper back then could maybe have included like 600 to 700 words where you describe the product, etc. Because, well, reading the paper seemed like
It was a
normal
thing.
thing. Yeah, that's like social media to us. However, I don't think that would work as efficient nowadays, uh, due to our attention span, as you said. So yeah, that's interesting.
But that's
But
crazy
regarding the title, I completely agree. The title plays a huge role.
for sure.
So
There's like what we see in YouTube every day,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
titles.
yeah.
But I don't know. I hate that idea that we no longer, I don't know, don't really have these little, I don't know, long advertisements. I don't know, but like where like I guess I assume you are talking about products that were advertised in the newspaper, right? That is where
Yes.
the 900 words were written.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think like if you want to buy a car, you will still have to read through. Like, let's say you buy, I don't know, a Rolls Royce or anything. Or I don't even think the owner of the Rolls Royce need to look through any papers. I think someone else will do that for them. But I was just thinking, like, if you're gonna buy a car, I still think you will have to go through some information.
That's kind of my point that I couldn't really formulate, is that I feel like if truly great product is sold, I believe there should be
Yeah.
more intricate
Mm.
parts or facts presented to the potential customer, you know.
Yeah. That's really cool, because I think that some products are even making the whole thing. They are making the story about the product itself and the company. And I don't remember what I bought. That like I have something in my mind. It was like when I bought this thing. I don't remember what it was. It was in a box anyway. And when I opened it, it basically said that, "Hello and thank you for buying this product, which is made blah blah blah, and hope you
Yeah,
enjoy it." And it made it very personal.
yeah.
Uh, and that's another point that he said in one of his like one of this podcast about him. It was that it's like extremely hard to make a sort of to make the ad about you personally, like a single
Mhm.
person, and not like a group of persons.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that's interesting.
definitely. Yeah, I bought a beanie once, a yellow beanie.
Yeah.
It was this brand called Bula,
Uh-huh.
and I remember reading the what you call it, the little price tag ish thingy, you know, with the papers and stuff.
Yeah, the price tag and all the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And there they had written about their brand, and yeah, I love how some brands make it like like more personal, that you can more personally connect to the whole product and brand. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really smart. Really, really smart.
for sure,
Um,
100%. But like another great thing about David Ogilvy's work, at least in the podcast I was listening to, he had this one quote where he said that where he believed that like maybe one in 100 ads contained a great idea. Like he was supposed to be this kind of inventor of great ideas in terms of advertising and stuff. And under his during his long career, he had only like come up with 20 ideas, 20 great ideas. And it's really fascinating because I think many of those great ideas were ads that ran for like 20 something years, or 10 something years, because they just worked. They just worked
yeah,
because people are predictable in many ways. And
yeah,
yeah, if you have a great idea, I think that's why his work is so genius, because yeah, or one of the reasons, because if like some of his campaigns like ran for like 2 decades or something.
yeah,
Oh, it's crazy.
yeah. I think that's something. That's something. Well, he had some of campaigns with or like for Guinness, Hathaway, Schweppes, the drink,
Yeah.
and
Also,
Dove.
and Dove, yeah.
So that's and yeah, obviously Rolls Royce, but I think that was more in the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's fascinating because like he like, in my opinion, he truly worked as an artist, because
mm,
I read this quote now before we started to record this, and that he believed that these great ideas came from the unconscious. So one of the many ways, or one of the ways he how should I say it, like he spent a lot of time kind of doing things that would let the unconscious speak to him. So he would take long hot baths. He would take vacations, stuff like that, where he do stuff that didn't force his mind to focus on anything. Just be and let great ideas come to him. So that was his like one of his yeah method to really like to garden to yeah get nice great ideas.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a very good point. To let things come naturally, and to not force anything. So yeah. And I think you can work better with a fresh mind. Or like,
Yeah.
um,
But I love that point because sometimes when at least it occurs to me when I'm doing something random, I don't know, just let's say vacuum cleaning the floor or something. I don't know. Uh, just all of a sudden I get like this cool idea. Damn, I should write it down or like document it somewhere. And yeah, so I really can connect with that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. It was something that you said that I was gonna comment on, but I don't exactly remember what.
Long hot bats.
No, yeah. I feel one right now. No, what it was something else. Oh yeah, about advertising and having like you said that it was an art-ish or something.
Yeah,
And
you
again,
work as an artist. Yeah,
yeah, it is kind of an art. Like if you break it down, it is kind of an art. Um, and I think that you should also, I think that there are so many agencies nowadays that put a lot of money into ads, into some ads that are not as um what would you call them,
effective.
as effective as they should be. Um, but I think it's just part of it to just try new ads and see which one would work and which one would not. But on the other hand, like putting really much time and effort into making an ad really sort of attractive and persuasive,
Persuasive.
persuasive.
Yeah,
Um, as David Ogilvy did. I think that could also be
that's a really good segue. When you said this, I was thinking about his criticisms of committees. So one of the things he really was a advocate for, an advocate for, was individual um excellence or like
mhm.
potential.
Yeah.
So he didn't like these ads that were made by committees, like a lot of I don't know people
Mm, mm,
where they I don't know. It was like this mix of all kinds of random ideas ish that really didn't really
appeal to anyone.
cover
Yeah.
like anything
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So and I think that is the case in the most of the Western world today. Like we are so ugh. That's the perfect word almost. No, but like yeah, we aren't I don't know, I feel like people aren't paying that much attention to excellence. I don't know. I don't know.
I think a lot of stuff is very. There is one word for this. Not kind of artificial ish.
Yeah, filtered like I don't know.
Yeah,
Our
it's not, and it's not as authentic as it used to be. Um,
yeah.
I feel, because everything feels like you do this. I mean, I don't even know what I'm eating anymore. Like, is this even chicken or like, if you buy something, like, can you really? Okay, now we're talking about some other stuff, but I
But
think you understand my idea.
but I love it though, because now I want to go, like, I want to take it to a bit like conspiracy direction,
Okay, go ahead.
my beautiful English. Uh,
Don't worry.
but I think it all makes sense also from this advertising perspective. We have talked about more of these conspiracy like topics in other podcasts. And this also makes sense because everybody is expected to conform, with all these. I forgot the abbreviation. I think you know it, with these points that companies want to.
ESG.
Yeah. So I think could be something to do with that. Everybody should be supporting you. That there are 100 genders and stuff like that. So, uh, and and one of the great things he also mentioned in the book that David Senra, not David Ogilvy, presented in the podcast, is that he thought that, or he had this one maxim, I think it's called. Uh, it's only two words, and it was tolerate excellence, and it meant that people who truly want great employees should tolerate excellence, in terms of that excellent people are rebels, non-conformists. They're the outsiders. It was his like kind of theory that great people are most of the cases in those kind of groups and with those kind of personalities, attitudes, and so forth. So
I
they are
remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
harder to deal with, and that is one thing that at least the Western society is really, I don't know, trying to silence.
Mm. And I think that was also one. I think, like, while he was talking about that, he also mentioned that that's why some employers. No, it was something. Yeah, tolerate excellence. I think he said something that some employers do not like. Their sort of process stagnates because they do not accept employing people that are better than themselves.
Yep.
And I think that's yeah. I don't even need to comment anything on that. I think because it speaks of itself, kind of. Uh, but
Yeah,
it's
it's he said that people should hire people that can surpass them in the rankings, because if they are like focusing more on
yeah,
like hiring people who cannot uh, surpass them, are just insecure, and it just doesn't benefit the
yeah.
company as a whole.
And I think that was this. I think Jack Ma said something about the founder of Alibaba.
Nope.
Uh, Alibaba.
I know Alibaba.
Yeah,
I
Jack.
think I know Alibaba.
Yeah, and Jack
Yeah.
Ma is the founder.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, I think he said something, or if it was Jeff Bezos, no, I think it was Jack Ma. He said something that he put together a team. Like he did, he said he didn't do so much, but he put together like an excellent team that could sort of make his idea come true.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's kind of like he maybe doesn't know how to do the advertising part or the financial part, but he instead, employed someone that was excellent at it and much better than himself that could do it on a top level.
Yeah,
So, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So yeah,
And yeah, A players.
yeah.
eight players, and you have to be ruthless to hire or to have a player team, so to say. Was
Yeah,
also one of his things that he wrote in the book, where and that idea he learned, or that lesson he learned in I think it was in Paris, where he worked as a chef.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's fun how he has incorporated many ideas from his past experiences and like other professions.
absolutely. I have one last point. And I was just thinking, I'll just tell you what it is, and then you can comment on it, and whether we
Cool.
can, further build on that.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was mentioned in the podcast that, expensive products can be sort of perceived better than, I mean, the same products.
Yeah.
Let's say that we have the same product, but the
Yeah.
expensive ones may be
Mm-hmm.
perceived as better. Um,
As
than,
this is
yeah, than the cheaper one, even though they have the same quality. And he gave that example that there was one he was talking about. There was one shop, and the owner, she couldn't sell her sort of stuff, and so when she noticed that she couldn't sell it, she just increased the price.
mm-hmm.
And then she started selling.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that perception, or that sort of technique, strategy, mentality of consumers? I don't know. What do you think about it?
It's interesting. It's a really fascinating. I don't know even what to call it. Is it a phenomenon or uh, but it works.
Mm.
It works for me. I like
Yeah,
something
yeah,
is more expensive. I'm really persuaded to think that it is better. Uh, and I think so many companies are taking advantage of that. I think that is where I think that's how so many, I don't know, brands are, perceived higher end, even though they, oh damn, I think they really, really make a lot of profit from just that technique. And when it becomes a part of the brand, it's and it's also this whole status thing as well, because if you are perceived or seen having or buying things that are more expensive, it's like you have more status, and so it's kind of has these two layers that I can think of right now. It's like it is perceived as better, and it also uh, elevates one's status depending on where you are and who you hang out with and so forth. But kind of has that layer to it as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I just, uh, I'll just 1 second.
It would be like really fascinating to learn more about that phenomenon, or but I don't know really what. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I just, when you said all that, I was just thinking, when you said about the status and stuff, I like a few days ago, it wasn't a few days ago, it was some time ago. I saw a video where it was basically some persons that had opened a store in one of the major cities in US. I don't exactly remember if it was LA or New York, and they had like very 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 cheap products like shoes and stuff and clothes.
Yeah.
But they had like a very fancy store. So we
Mm-hmm.
was like with red carpet and nice lights and all that. And like the shoes they were so cheap, and but they sold it with like $200 or $300. Like I don't exactly remember the video, but their profit margin was huge. like huge, like so it was gigantic. It was incredible. And there were like people coming in there and just looking at the shoes, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you could see that this is like very high quality, even though they were like super cheap." So it's just maybe you
But
have seen it.
but how did they get that high of a profit margin then if they sold it for cheap and
No,
they
no, no. They were cheap. They were very cheap. The shoes to produce were very cheap.
okay, right.
So the owners bought them for like, I don't know, a few dollars, maybe 20 or
Yeah,
$25, but they sold it for like 200-300.
right,
So the
right, right.
profit, yeah, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's just funny how easy it is to be tricked by stuff like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
It's and I wonder why it is. At least that why we perceive that it is higher quality if it is more expensive.
yeah, I guess because it's perceived as unnormal, unusual. And if it's more expensive, I guess you think that it should be something special with it.
Yeah, or I was thinking about if it is more expensive, more work has like gone into the product to produce it, and so maybe
Yeah.
that's maybe the subconscious thinking of few. I don't
I mean,
but it's really interesting. It's really yeah, it's a fascinating phenomenon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting. Yeah. So those were kind of my points.
yeah. All right.
I don't have so much else to add. I don't know if you have anything.
Like I don't really have like big talking points
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as you did. Like I more so was specific about some rules he had and stuff. So yeah, but we have like almost. I think we have talked about most of them. We have talked about well, like kind of mentioned the rules between the lines and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I will see if I can find something. He hates people who suck up to their bosses. They are the same ones who bully their subordinates.
Hmm. Oh, and it was something else. I think he had something. No, this was nope, nope, never mind.
Also, a interesting point is that he thinks that editors of magazines are better communicators than advertising people. So he
Mhm,
recommends for advertising people to copy editors' communicating techniques.
mhm, mhm.
That's really interesting. I use that word too much.
Yeah, no, same here. But the thing is that it really is because the thing is that it really is nice. No, but I was just thinking that you could, if you look at a profession or let's say you want to start I don't know, you're an advertiser or you're a, I don't know, CEO or whatever you are. I still think you should combine several things or like several perspectives in your job, in your profession, in your business, or whatever you do. Because being an advertiser alone, I don't know how long that will take you. But I mean, if you are an advertiser that is also looking at the psychological factors and are constantly learning new designs and new creative stuff, and maybe some, I don't know, maybe some using some designer tools and coding, and I don't know how you could combine those three together, but especially psychology and
Design, or yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
design in the advertising industry could take you far away. And then obviously you will also need some analyzing tools and some math and stuff. But yeah. So
Sure.
the whole point was that I think it's important to combine several other skills
Yeah.
in one thing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we can speak more about specialized skills in another podcast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really interesting topic as well. But yeah, I don't have anything more to add to this.
Me neither.
Yeah, I think David Ogilvy was a really cool person to learn more about, and I'm really excited to learn even more. Because I love these old school people. They are so on point. Like they don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As too many people do these days. So I love these yeah, people who are direct and speak their truth.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't have so much else to add either. I completely agree with you. So,
cool.
all right, everyone. So, thank you very much for listening to today's episode. We really hope you enjoyed it and got some new ideas and thoughts on how to navigate life's spin.
And how to advertise. And
That's it.
don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. We want to know what you think about these ideas that David Ogilvy had. Maybe you have some ideas yourselves about advertising. We would love to hear them. And yeah, we wish you a really good continuation on your day. And until next time.
Adios.